I received some terrible news today. I hate to use a cliche, but as Lyndon Johnson said, he was a former president, I speak with a heavy heart. A friend of mine, close friend, who I met in 1969, so it's been 51 years, my good friend Ric Drasin, I found out passed away today. Rick was having some health problems, the nature of which I wasn't quite certain. I know that Rick only had one kidney, and I was told that he might have been having kidney problems. Might have been having some liver problems, maybe associated with the kidney problems. I don't exactly know what happened. But all I know is that about just a couple of days ago, I called up Rick as soon as I heard he was in the hospital. I didn't know. I hadn't been in touch with Rick for a while, and somebody sent me a little note saying that Rick was in the hospital. I immediately called Rick, and he answered the phone. He sounded okay. He said he's been in the hospital 3 weeks. I told him I wanted to visit him. He told me that they didn't allow visitors because of the COVID-19 thing. Nobody could visit him, and I know Rick. Rick was a very social guy. A couple of years ago when he was in the hospital, another hospital, I was able to visit him, and I know that he had a lot of visitors. In fact, when I arrived, his ex-wife and daughter were in the room. Vic, it must have been terrible. I mean, Rick mentioned, he said it was like being in prison, and he was hoping to get out of the hospital as soon as possible, and he felt that he would be able to do so pretty soon. So you can imagine my shock when somebody sends me another note today saying something about Ric Drasin had passed away. At first, I didn't believe it. I thought it was one of those, internet rumors. And then I checked. Within a couple of minutes, I realized it was true. As I said, I met Rick back in 1969. We were both members of the original Gold's Gym. Anyone who's watched Rick's show, Rick's Corner, his video on YouTube, knows that Rick often told stories about the old days at the original Gold's. And I trained there. We trained over there at Gold's, and we hung out together. I mean, Rick and I used to go to what they called singles bars. This is in the early, let's say 1970, early 70s. I don't know if they still exist today. I haven't been into a bar in so many years I don't even remember. But we used to go to these singles bars and kind of pickup places. Rick at the time had curly blonde hair. He was in great shape, competitive bodybuilder. He used to wear these open shirts. He had gold chains, I remember. Handsome guy. He had the gift of gab. He was able to talk to women, and he met a lot of women. Unfortunately, me, I was the guy who stood against the wall, didn't say anything. I was too shy, especially in a situation like a meat market, singles bars. I just didn't understand, going up to women and just talking to them like that. To me, it seemed very strange, and I just never did it. And they didn't come up to me either, even though I was also a competitive bodybuilder. It made no difference to them. But anyway, Rick, besides being very good at talking to women, Rick had a fantastic sense of humor. He was always cracking one-liners. I remember not long ago he had a girlfriend that he since split up with. And I remember this girlfriend tried to act like Rick, and it didn't come off well. Rick used to, just about every other line that he uttered was a kind of a, funny remark. And even when being sarcastic, Rick, it was funny. In other words, it didn't have an edge to it. However, this woman, when she tried to imitate Rick, it came off as sarcastic and nasty. And I took an immediate dislike to her, but I didn't mention it to Rick because he was dating her. But now everybody knows since I said it in this video. I found her to be quite obnoxious, actually. But anyway, he wound up splitting up with her, and Rick was married I think twice. I know he had 3 kids. He had two sons from his first marriage, I believe, and he had his daughter Sammy, and who was all the sons are very talented, like Rick. And Rick was a man of many talents. I don't know if a lot of you know, but Rick was extremely. I guess he mentioned in a couple of his videos. He was a very accomplished musician. He could play the number of instruments, played the guitar. He was in bands when he was younger. He was also an extremely talented artist. Rick was extremely creative. If there was one word I would apply to Ric Drasin, it's creative. Very creative guy. He designed the original, I guess a lot of people know, he's the one who designed the original Gold's Gym logo, the logo of the bald guy lifting a weight. You know the story that was they were sitting in Zookie's restaurant, and somebody asked Rick to design a logo. He took a napkin and he literally drew that picture on the napkin, and that became the official Gold's Gym logo. Later on, Rick designed the World Gym logo, which was a gorilla lifting a weight. And Rick, a couple of stories is Rick. When I first met him, I was in college, and I didn't have much money. I was living on something like $35 a week, which you could do back in 1969. You couldn't do it today, but I did it in '69. I had a one-bedroom apartment in Santa Monica. I believe it cost me $140 a month. The same apartment today would be about $2,000 a month. But anyway, Rick would actually cut my hair for me. That's still another talent he had. Rick used to give me haircuts. So that, but he was a great guy. And of course, when he started his Rick's Corner YouTube channel, I appeared on it. And a lot of people got to know me through Rick's Corner. And, we always just have a lot of fun. And I guess people could see the camaraderie that Rick and I had. And it wasn't fake. I mean, this is two guys that really had a lot of feelings for each other, not in a homosexual way, but I mean, as good, deep friends. We knew each other and we confided in each other. He told me a lot of personal things. I told him a lot of personal things, not in the videos, but off camera. But, he was just a really great guy. And I just wanted to make this video to say how much I'm going to miss him. And how I'm kind of like still numb, to be honest with you. I mean, I just heard this just a couple hours ago, and it's just hardly sunk in yet that this, a friend for so long is now passed away. And you young guys, let me tell you something. And listen to this. You'll find it's true one day. The hardest thing about getting older, it's not just the aches and pains, the inevitable aches and pains that come with aging. No matter what you do, no matter how good your nutrition is, how often you train, there's always going to be a certain amount of aches and pains that training and nutrition make it a lot easier to deal with, as Rick also often talked about. But the hardest thing to me about getting older personally is losing good friends. I mean, when I see, a guy like Rick, when he passes away, to me, it's like losing a family member. It hits me very hard. And when I actually read that Rick passed away, when I confirmed it, I actually almost couldn't breathe. I was just in such a state of stress, that this good friend of mine was not here anymore. I'm probably getting a little emotional now, but I just want to also, if anybody from his family is watching this, I just want to express my condolences. I didn't really know his sons that well. I saw them when they were young, and I knew his daughter a little bit more. I met her a couple of times. I knew his wives, but I just want to express my condolences. I mean, I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you, because Rick's mom, she lived into if I remember correctly, her mid-90s. And I remember telling Rick not long ago, I said, Rick, I know you have a lot of aches and pains and injuries from your wrestling, but you have one thing going for you, is your mom lived to her mid-90s. And the genetics for longevity are transferred to you by your mother, not your father. Rick's father died fairly young, if I believe, of heart disease. But his mother, as I said, lived to the mid-90s. And I always thought that Rick, even with his aches and pains, and he's had a knee replacement. I think he wanted to get another one. I always thought that he basically was a healthy person from a genetic standpoint. And I really thought he'd live a long time. That's why I'm so shocked. I believe he was about 74. I thought he'd live a lot longer. I thought he'd make it to the 90s, to be honest with you. So I don't know what else to say other than, he's a great guy. I know a lot of people had really loved Rick and used to listen to his YouTube video, and they're going to miss him too. So God bless Rick, and I hope rest in peace, Rick. And thank you for listening. I'm sorry, I can't. I'm sorry.